Well, Lord, honey, children, welcome to the Country Bling Cooking Show, honey. It is Wednesday night, December the 16th. I hope y'all are having a wonderful Wednesday. Here, where we're at in Kentucky, we've seen snow, we've seen freezing rain, we've seen rain, we've seen a little bit of everything today. And right now, outside, honey, it's a pouring rain. And I just realized that camera is as crooked as a dog's hind leg. So I need to fix it a little bit, or that video is going to be crooked. Lord, honey, children. Ain't nothing worse than a crooked video, is there? All right, so I hope y'all, like I said, are having a wonderful Wednesday. It is December the 16th. I'd like to start out by saying thank you to everybody that wished me a happy birthday today. I've had a really good birthday. It's been one of those kind of relaxing days. I've just been in the kitchen and kind of cooking a few things and packing up some goodies and all that good stuff. So thank you all for everybody that wished me happy birthday. I love you all dearly, as much as love as you've shown me today. And it's kind of overwhelming when you start seeing all the birthday wishes and stuff. And it makes me very honored and very humbled to know each and every one of you all. And thank you so much, and I appreciate that. So I have some wonderful Christmas music playing in the background tonight, if you can hear it over me talking, because you all know I love to talk so much. So, honey, children, you may never hear the Christmas music, but that's okay. Now, don't forget, if you're watching this on Instagram Live, I have up the donation button to donate to No Kid Hungry. As I've said in the past weeks, I feel like, we always have hungry kids. But I feel like this year, especially, we're going to have even more hungry. So if you can donate, please do. It would be very appreciated. And I would enjoy it. And I know that No Kid Hungry would enjoy it as well, and they could use it. So thank you in advance if you've donated in the past. And thank you if you all donate tonight. So I put on my Christmas jacket, one of many for y'all tonight. Now next week I'll have on a different one. I can't wait for y'all to see it. So tonight, now in the past weeks, honey children, we have talked about candy. We've done two different kinds. We've done a fudge and then we've done a peanut butter roll. But tonight, I want to talk about a cookie that's near and dear to my heart. Because, Christmas to me is all about the candies, the cookies, the pies, the cakes, and all that. And I want to touch on a cookie tonight, like I said, that's near and dear to my heart. It was my Aunt Jean's favorite, and actually one of my favorites. And it's a Molasses Crinkle Cookie. And, honey, it's one of those cookies that once you eat it for the first time, honey child, you'll want them every year at Christmas. It just invokes those Christmas spices, all those warm spices like the clove, the ginger, the cinnamon, and then that rich molasses that we put in there. So you're going to see that it's a very easy cookie. Most people think molasses cookies are very hard to do, but they're not hard at all. Oh, look, I've got my favorite nutcracker towel out here tonight to use. Ain't he cute? Honey, he's cuter than a bug in a rug, honey, on a winter night trying to get warm. I'm telling you what, I just love that. Somebody got that for me last year for the Christmas, and I just love it. All right, so I don't have Miss Lisa on the line tonight. She had something that she couldn't be here tonight with us, but if you have questions, please ask them, and when I watch the videos back, I will try to answer as many as I can. So don't forget, you can get tonight's recipe on SouthernCountryBling.com. It'll be on later tonight, and you can get all the other great recipes from all of our other shows and all the great recipes that may have not been on shows right there on the website. And don't forget, you've still got plenty of time to get your orders in for your SouthernCountryBling.com or SouthernCountryBling.com. Lord, honey, child, I crack myself up sometimes. Your Southern Country Bling apparel. So I think if you get your order in the next couple days, you still should get it in time for Christmas. And we're running out quickly. And what's left, honey, that's all we got. Once she's gone forever. So, all right, so let's get into this cookie. Now, I can remember having this cookie every year at Christmas time. My grandmother always made them. It's a super simple cookie. I've added one or two new ingredients to it just to kind of fun it up and jazz it up and make it new again. So I think you all are going to love this cookie. So tonight we're making my Molasses Crinkle Cookie. Now, if you don't have molasses, you can use golden syrup, which is just a dark Karo syrup. You can even use like a mixture of like honey and dark Karo syrup, or you can use a maple syrup. It would also work if you can't find molasses or don't like the molasses taste. It'll be just a little bit different, but they interchange the same. So, all right, so now I'm going to have my assistant. They're going to go to the microwave and they're going to heat up and melt the butter and the Crisco that we got to have in this. And we're going to talk about the ingredients. Like I said, there's not very many ingredients that goes in this cookie, and I think you're going to love it. So while we're heating up the butter and the Crisco, you just want to melt the butter and the Crisco, and you want to make sure that it's cool, because if you put it in there and then put the egg in there, honey child, that egg will cook. You'll have scrambled egg cookies is what you'll have, honey child, let me tell you. So, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and crack my egg while we're waiting on that. Now, this is one of them good farm fresh eggs that we raise right here. You know, like I've said many times, as Granny always called them, she called them hen fruit. And I always thought that was funny, and I just laughed when she'd do that. So put her eggshell over there. And I'm going to give you a little tip. Do you know that chickens will eat eggshells? Honey, we give the shells right back to the chickens, and what that does, it makes the eggshells on your other eggs, they are more strong. We feed our chickens oyster shells, and that puts grit in their craw, so when they eat, it grinds up their food a little bit better, but it also gives them minerals to make the shells on the egg even stronger. So there's your little egg tip tonight. Alright, so, now like I said, molasses. Honey, she's thick, look at that. This is black strap molasses. There's two different kinds of molasses. There's black strap and there's regular molasses. I like to use the black strap because blackstrap has a stronger flavor to it. And that way, you get more of that molasses flavor to it. Now, most of the time when we're using molasses, we like to add just like a little bit of orange zest or lemon zest, because molasses does have almost that little bit of like a copper penny taste to it, but in this cookie it doesn't. So, all right, so I have my melted butter. Oh, Lord, children, she's hot. She's hot, hot, hot. So I'm going to put my melted butter right in here. Now, when my grandmother made this years ago, she always used full-on Crisco. Now, if you don't like to use Crisco, you can use lard here, or you could use bacon grease as well. So we're just going to put our butter and our Crisco right up in this bowl here. And then we're going to add our sugar to it. Now, you can do this recipe in the stand mixer, or you can do it by hand. Now, I just have here white sugar. And we add all that sugar. Get it all out of the bowl, honey, because you know you've got to have that sugar. All right, we're just going to mix that sugar and that butter together, and that'll cool the butter down for us so that we're not cooking our egg. Now we're going to add in our molasses. Now, these molasses, you'll notice that the blackstrap's not hardly as thick as the regular molasses. And blackstrap molasses is just cane. It's made from sugar cane, molasses is. And the longer you cook the molasses, the darker it gets. And that's what we call blackstrap, because it's been cooked a long time. It's real dark. And we just want to mix that together with the butter and the sugar. And get all the lumps out of there. If there's any lumps, if your Crisco hasn't totally melted, make sure that you just mix that up like that. And get all them lumps out of there. You know, I love Christmas time, and you all know if you've watched my videos of all the decorations, Christmas is one of my favorite times of the year, simply because, which now I kind of do this year long. Christmas is one of those seasons that it changes people. You know, we show more love during the Christmas season, and one way to show love is through homemade goodies. People love a homemade cookie, a loaf of bread like a banana bread or zucchini bread, a pumpkin bread, a cake, some fudge or candy. You know, it makes them feel all warm and fuzzy inside, and that's what Christmas does. It makes us feel all warm and fuzzy, and I just think that this is the perfect time of year, especially if you don't get time to bake through the year. Then Christmas is the time that you really need to pull out the flour and the bowls and, honey, get to baking. So, all right, now, we've got that all mixed up. Now, we're going to mix up our flour. We're going to whisk it together. Most of the time, you'll see recipes that'll say sift it. Honey, y'all have seen me enough now. I say whisk it because it does the same thing as sifting, and it takes a lot less time. So I just have here all-purpose flour, and then I'm going to add baking soda, salt, cloves, cinnamon, and ground ginger. Now, if you don't like cloves, you could use nutmeg here. If you don't like the ginger or cloves, just add a little bit more cinnamon. But I like them all because that's those nice, warm, winter spices. You know, it gives you that feeling of almost a mulled cider kind of like feeling. When you smell mulled cider, you know that it's got cloves in it, it's got nutmeg in it, it's got ginger in it, it's got cinnamon in it. And those warm spices is really what we want this time of year, simply because they just go well with Christmas. So, you know, it's one of those things that Christmas is all, to me now, it's all about the sweet treats. And so I love my cookies, I love my candies, I love my pies, and I just can't wait to show you. Know, next week is Christmas. Next week is Christmas, children. It's almost here. So you're going to have to get in the kitchen and start making up some of these cookies. All right, so now that we have our flour and our spices all mixed together, we're going to come back to our sugar mixture, and I'm going to add in vanilla, which that is a new addition to this because vanilla is not in the original, and 1 egg. Now, I'll tell you a good thing with this cookie recipe is you can double this and you'll be perfectly fine. You know, some recipes you can't hardly double because it won't come out right. But now you can double this recipe and it does real good. I usually double it simply because everybody loves them so good, and that way I can just go ahead and have my dough made up. And this dough, if you don't bake it all at one time, you can just keep it in the refrigerator and pull it out whenever you want to. So you just want to make sure that all that's mixed up good, and you can see that I've got that all mixed up. We want to add half of this flour mixture to our molasses, butter, egg mixture, whatever you want to call that. So half of that, and we're just going to stir and fold. And you can do like a figure 8 in this to stir it up. And you want to have a light hand with this because it's almost like stirring and folding, but you want to have a light hand because anytime you're working with flour, if you get in there and beat that sucker up like that, she'll be so tough, honey, you won't even be able to chew it. So, same thing with biscuits, and we've talked about biscuits before. You've got to have a light hand with biscuits. So, alright, so we're just going to mix that until we don't see any white streaks left. Oh, you might see a few white streaks left. It's alright. But it's really just a fold technique. See, I come around the side of the bowl and fold it back on it and then come down through the middle. And you can see how well that's coming together. So, let's go ahead and add the rest of our flour in here. Oh, get out there. It's just like patting a baby's butt. Get on out there. We need all that flour up in there. Alright, we're just going to finish this by mixing it together. Oh, thank you all so much for the donations tonight to No Kid Hungry. We've got two donations of altogether of $200 tonight. Thank you guys so much. If you're watching this on the YouTube channel or on Facebook, please go to nochildhungry.com and donate if you can. Thank you all so much. You know, kids is one of my platforms. I love working with kids. I love teaching kids. I love teaching anybody, honey, children, how to cook. But kids are our future, and if we don't teach them now and while they're young to do things, I just don't know where they might be, honey, when they get older. So I'm all about teaching kids how to cook and bake and just the lessons of life as much as possible. All right, so now you can see that we've got that all folded up. Now you can see how loose that mixture is. It just falls right off the spoon. So once you get this mixture mixed up, what you want to do is you want to put it in a bowl with a lid, or you can just take the spoon out and wrap this bowl. You want this to set in the refrigerator for at least an hour, but you can allow it to set overnight. Now I have one that I mixed up earlier, and it's right here, and now you can see the texture of it. It comes together almost like pie crust. So it's a thicker texture, and this is what you're looking for. So it goes from this once you get it mixed up. See how loose that is? It goes from that to this, and this is what we want. This has already been chilled. This has been set, and actually this one I mixed up yesterday, so this one's been in the refrigerator overnight. Oh Lord, let's wipe off her counter here. Let's get her all clean, honey children. All right, so now comes the fun part. Now I have here a baking sheet that I've sprayed. If you have a seal pat, honey, that's what you'd want to put on here. A seal pat or a piece of wax paper. Or if your pan is sprayed, it won't stick. So you can either leave your pan like this and spray it, or you can bake them on wax paper, or you can use a seal pat. All right, now I have a little bit of white sugar. And here you could use Christmas sprinkles if you wanted to, like sanding sugar, like a red sanding sugar or a green sanding sugar, or even sprinkles like a nonpareil, like we used a couple weeks ago. No, we didn't use nonpareils on here. That was on another show I done. All right, but I've just got regular old white sugar here. And you just want to take a cookie scoop. Now, there's several different kinds of cookie scoops. This is a 1 ounce cookie scoop. And it's got this cool little hand thing on it here so you can hang it up like that on a peg wall or something like that. But this is a 1 ounce cookie scoop. If you don't have a cookie scoop, then you can use teaspoons. And I'll get a couple right here and show you. So you can just use teaspoons and also do the same thing. If you're using a teaspoon, you just want to get a little bit like this, and you just want to rake it off into that sugar. And then you just want to roll it around and coat that whole dough with sugar, and then roll it in your hands and make a ball, and then just place it onto the baking sheet. That's what you want it to look like once it. I wish y'all could see the sparkle crystal on it that I'm getting from here. This is so cool. And then, if you have a cookie scoop, you would just take your cookie scoop and get you a nice flat scoop, and you would go straight to the sugar and roll it around in the sugar. Make sure you get top, bottom, and sides, and then place it onto the cookie sheet. Now, I'm going to show you this again with the cookie scoop. If you're using a cookie scoop, go and get enough and come up flat. You want to make sure that you grab it and you pull it flat up to the side of the bowl and pull it off so that you get a nice flat scoop of cookie dough. See that nice flat scoop of cookie dough? And then when you push the thing to come out, you'll have exactly what you're looking for. And you just do that into the sugar. And you just roll it around and make sure that you get all of its little sides dusted. And you'll see on the finished product how crystal, it looks almost like it's been frosted. So, and you just want to do that. Now, you should get about 12 of these on a pan. And you want them about 2 inches apart. So, I'm going to do that cookie scoop one more time. And I'm going to do it against this way on the camera, or toward the camera, so you all can see. And I just go flat to the side and then pull straight up. And what that does is it cuts the dough off and then gives you that nice shape, that nice perfect scoop. And that way all your cookies will be identically the same. Now, like I said, if you're using the teaspoons, you just want to get you a little bit of a ball against the side and rake it, and then it'll look just like this. So this is a spoon that we would eat like soup or whatever, and this of course is a long handle teaspoon. And then you just rake it into that sugar, and you just coat it. If you're using the teaspoons, if you're just coating it, then you just want to roll it in your hands till it makes a ball. That's all you're looking for. If you're using a cookie scoop, obviously it's going to give you a ball that has a flat bottom to it, or a flat butt. It's kind of like me, I got a flat butt. So, and then you just put the flat side on the pan. All right, so once you do that, like I said, you don't have to use all of your dough at one time. You could bake like 12 of these and put the dough in the refrigerator in an airtight container and have the dough ready to go anytime that you want it. So once I get my cookies on, Lord, look here, I put everything in the world up on that tray. Children, I'm telling you what ain't that thing. I guess I was going to bake my spoon and scoops and everything. All right, so once you get all of your balls rolled in sugar and onto your baking sheet, this goes into a 350-degree oven for 8 minutes. Now make sure you set a timer, because if these cook longer than 8 minutes, they're going to be more like a hard ginger snap cookie, and that's not really fun to eat because you can crack your teeth on them suckers. This, you want to be a nice chewy middle to them, and 8 minutes is exactly what you need to bake these. So once they go in the oven, they bake for 8 minutes. And once they come out, this is what they look like. Let's get the sugar off of here so I don't get that all over my. So that's what they look like. Let me show you. So I hope that you all can catch that glitter. I don't think the cameras are picking up the glitter on the sugar, but in person, when you see these, they're very frosty looking, and that's what the sugar does. And you'll notice when I break this open, how chewy they are. Look at that. That's what you're looking for. You want that middle of that cookie is very super chewy. See that? Isn't that awesome? Oh my God. That is so good. You get those earthy spices from that cinnamon and then that little bit of clove in there and the ginger and the molasses that you get once you swallow that cookie. I'm telling you guys, this is the cookie you want to make for Santa this year. Santa Claus, if you make these for Santa Claus, let me tell you something. I bet he'll stay in your house and won't go nowhere else because these will be so good, he will want to eat them every one. I'm telling you, honey. Now, these are so good, honey, slap the elves and shake the glitter out of their boots. You're going to want a whole bunch of these because, let me tell you, they good. They real good. A good cup of coffee. And here's another thing. You can make these into a sandwich cookie. Just put a little bit of buttercream in between there, and you'd have the perfect sandwich cookie. And I can tell you what buttercream I'd like with this. A toasted marshmallow buttercream. Oh, Lord, honey, say it ain't so. Honey, it's so good. Listen, guys, I know this is the cookie that you're going to want to try. The recipe will be up on SouthernCountryBling.com later on tonight. So make sure you stop on by to check out the recipe. You all seen it's super easy to make, and honey, I guarantee you, everybody when they smell these bacon are going to be standing in your kitchen with their mouths a drooling and waiting on these to come out, honey. And then once you take them out of the oven, just in a few minutes, they're ready to eat. And warm, these cookies are very good warm. So every time you make these molasses cookies, molasses crinkle cookies, every time you make them, you're going to think of Country Bling, honey, because he brought you one of the best cookies in the world. And this was, like I said, always my Aunt Jean's favorite cookie, and she loved these. She would eat them year-round, but she especially loved them at Christmas time. Molasses was big in our family. We used it for all kinds of things. Cooked sweet taters and molasses. We made molasses jam cakes. We made molasses stack cakes. So this makes me feel like a child again every time I eat my molasses crinkle cookie. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Thank you for donating to No Kid Hungry. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I know they thank you as well. And honey, children, let me tell y'all something. Be watching on Instagram and Facebook because the Christmas giveaway is going to be posted tonight. And you don't want to miss it because you're going to want this Christmas giveaway. It may not reach you in time for Christmas, but the giveaway will start and run through a couple days. So, alright guys, don't forget to tune in next week, which will be the day before Christmas Eve. And we're going to be talking all things pie. That's right, I'm going to show you my 7-minute meringue that you all are just going to love. And then we're going to talk about a pie that I guarantee you've never heard of before or would have ever thought about making before, but you're going to love it. So, alright guys, you all be healthy, be safe, wash your little hands, wear your little mask if you go out and social distance when you can. I love y'all, and listen, as I always say, it's made with love, it's homemade, and Lord, honey, it's oh so good. Listen, y'all have a great, great evening, and I'll see you right back here next week on Wednesday night for another episode of the Country Bling Cooking Show. We're talking all things pie. Don't forget to jump over to the SouthernCountryBling.com website and get all of your things Country Bling. Country Bling apparel, your Country Bling recipes. Honey, you can't get any more bundt cakes right now before Christmas because they're all gone. But now, you can get a lot of other things. So get in that kitchen, make some cookies, make some candy, make some cakes, make some pies. Make Santa Claus want to stop twice at your house. I'll see y'all next week. I love y'all. Bye.